Good evening, and welcome to the CostumeCon 2026 virtual contests. We're happy to have you all here with us and hope you will enjoy the show. Tonight, we will be presenting the single pattern contest, the Future Fashion Show, the doll competition, and the ICG Lifetime Achievement Award, followed by the awards for both shows. The CostumeCon 2026 single pattern competition is designed to provide a starting point for entrants to construct, embellish, or modify an outfit from a standard commercial pattern selected by the convention. Participants may use one or more of these patterns. The finished garment may be dramatically altered from the original design, but must be recognizable as the original pattern and retain its fundamental shape. Our patterns were all selected from the Folkwear line of ethnic and historical clothing. First, we chose Folkwear 145 Chinese pajamas, a comfortable jacket and pants combo suitable for any type. No one chose this pattern. Our second pattern was the Folkwear 230 Model T Duster, a loose-fitting unlined coat. Entry number 1, an Italian gown. When I think of Milan, I think of the general idea of Italian fashion being simple but elegant and thought to turn the riding coat into an elegant gown. That's what Rose Haynes said, choosing a white canvas and black faux fur from her stash to create this overdress and combine it with jewelry and a hooped skirt she already had. A quick polish of the goblet, and she's ready for a fancy Italian party. This is Rose's first time entering the single pattern contest. Our next contestant combined the duster with our third pattern, the Folkwear 231 Big Sky riding skirt. From the Olympics Handbook Downhill Dangers, Chapter 291, Dragons. Jacqueline Ward used two of our patterns to create this playful homage to the Winter Olympics. She used multiple quilting pieces, couching, beading, and sewing techniques to create the illusion of snow-clad, richly forested mountains where different breeds of dragons lurk, waiting to jump out at the skiers and snowboarders as they race down the mountain. For our fourth pattern, we chose Folkwear 118 Tibetan Panel Coat, a pattern which was used before at CostumeCon 14 in Seattle, Washington in 1996. Entry number 3, Stained Glass Lampshade Coat. Karen Siemens was inspired by a book of stained glass quilt designs inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright. She carefully stitched the lines from the inside to the out to make sure the slanted lines connected properly from piece to piece. The leading was created with black ribbons. Except for some additional ribbon to finish, everything came out of the stash, including the hat. Entry number 4, Evening Applique. Debbie Breitschneider created this elegant look by shortening the coat to a more comfortable length and added applique and beaded embellishments for a bit of glitz. And she added patch pockets because everything needs pockets. Entry number 5, Apocalyptic Momigami. Mary Ellen Duff wanted to create something unusual and completely different. I promise you, she succeeded. Using a Japanese technique of kneading paper to produce a soft fabric-like texture, she recycled milk cartons to create her coat. She assembled this completely by hand because after the apocalypse, we may not have electricity or fabric. And yes, she drank all the milk. That completes our entries for the single pattern contest. Now we'll turn things over to Pierre and Sandy Pettinger for the Future Fashion Show. Taking up for Pierre and Sandy. This year, the theme of the Future Fashion Design Competition was Milan, and they had a special category of Oz. 3 designers submitted designs, and their judges chose 78 winners. Only one person chose to make a design. Janine Wardale chose to make up her design. This is called Best Friends in Oz. This design won in the formal wear category. The ensemble features a blend of pink and green fabrics. The two plaid fabrics underlying cotton, vintage buttons, pink fringe, pink coral trim, coral lace, flowers, and accents are all thrifted or secondhand finds. The look is topped with a coordinating pink and green hat. It serves as a spring garden dress, perfect for the day after a blizzard. That completes the Future Fashion Show. Now we'll present the doll competition as directed by Philip and Kathy Gust.
Welcome to the Costume Con 2026 doll competition. A Day at the Sea, costume by Janine Wardale.
On December 9th, 1972, an envelope was mailed to my Aunt Eldora for these two dolls. She assembled both bodies, and the bloomers and petticoat for one of them. In June 1973, Aunt Eldora's husband died suddenly, and she became a single parent of 3. The headless dolls were placed in a box and stored away. While helping her sort through and clear her house in August 2024, they were found again, and I decided to finish them. I finished Grace and Bridget with fabric, trims, flowers, charms, lace, ribbon, and more from Aunt Eldora's extensive stash of crafting supplies. Unfortunately, the twins' first trip to the beach was met with them finding a giant lobster having overtaken one ship and a giant kraken overtaken the other ship.
Ensign Mecca Mariner of the USS Barritos. Costume by Randall Whitlock.
In 2024, Southwest Costumers Guild member Tasha Katie obtained a bunch of small teddy bears and challenged fellow members to costume them. I am a huge fan of Star Trek, Lower Decks, so naturally I chose my project to be Ensign Mecca Mariner of the USS Barritos. The costume is a tea-tunic, made by sketching it out on Corel Draw, then printing onto cotton printable fabric, available in 8.5 by 11-inch sheets at office stores, formatted to feed into an inkjet printer. The tunic has only 2 seams, one under each arm. This image shows Ensign Beckett Mariner, who inspired my bear, as an animated character, and in live action as played by Tawny Newsome in a crossover episode of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Here is Ensign Mariner reclining on a replica of Captain Kirk's command chair at the recent library cons in Central Arizona.
Iris, Goddess of the Rainbow. Costume by Noramai.
Iris is the Greek goddess of the rainbow and a messenger for all gods, traveling at the speed of wind or light to deliver news. This is an original drape design created on the doll itself and sewn primarily by hand. The doll is a purchased resin ball-jointed doll from the Youpla company. The model is Tamara. The skirt of the dress drapes long and pools around her feet, cloaking her in rainbows. It has a gathered halter neck and long waist ties which extend beyond the hem. The underskirt is a ruffled black mesh, with gold stars to represent the night sky she crosses at dawn.
Tabor, Czech Republic. A traditional women's costume. Costume by Margarita Gajicki.
This 19-inch Heidi honors Czech athletes at the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics. The costume is a copy of a traditional woman's costume from Tabor, Czechia. The apron is purchased white eyelet, edged with eyelet trim and ties. A full gathered skirt is made of maroon gabardine. The white cotton eyelet blouse has puffy sleeves with lace trim. A linen shawl tucks in front. The black woolen vest is decorated with 4mm sequins, gold trim, and colorful hand embroidery. Both front and back have corset-style laced closures. A cap, CPEC, is made of gold-colored satin, decorated with 2mm gold sequins. Seams are trimmed with gold soutache and finished with fine lace trim.
Baby Emily Francis, a child from the Victorian age in the 1880s. Costume by Kathy Gust. Exhibition. Elizabethan Lady, doll and costume by Polly Nessum. Exhibition. America's Sweetheart, inspired by 1928 style worn by Mary Pickford. Costume by Kathy Gust. Exhibition. That concludes our show. Thank you for watching.
Coming up, we have the ICG Lifetime Achievement Award, as announced earlier by ICG President Kevin Roach during the ICG annual meeting, followed by the ICG Archives 2026 memorial video and our awards.
Hello, I'm Kevin Roach, President of the International Costumers Guild. One of the unique privileges and responsibilities of my office is in administering the selection process for and presentation of the International Costumers Guild Lifetime Achievement Award. The Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes a body of achievement in the costuming art and service to the costuming community. Candidates for the award shall have been active in the costuming community for at least 10 years, shall have achieved significant recognition for their costuming skills, which may be in the form of, but not restricted to, competitive awards, professional accomplishments, teaching of skills and/or media recognition, and/or shall have made significant contributions in service to the costuming community. Any ICG member, chapter, or special interest group in good standing may nominate candidates. The selection is done by the chapter presidents and ICG officers via a secret ballot administered by the president. This year, we again had several deserving nominees, and it is my privilege today to announce the 2026 recipient. Our art form is profoundly ephemeral, and much of its history would vanish without the dedicated members of our community who capture it for posterity. Among those invaluable documentarians, few have contributed as consistently and generously as the recipient of this year's award. For nearly 3 decades, they have been a constant presence in CostumeCon, quietly and meticulously recording the full breadth of our creativity. Beginning in the era of film, when they still managed to produce hundreds of images each year, and continuing through the transition to digital photography, our honoree has built an extraordinary visual record of our competitions, displays, and hall costumes. Their coverage is both comprehensive and thoughtful. Thousands of images from each event, with dozens of detail shots capturing the craftsmanship of a single entry. And something uniquely precious to our archives, reliable costumer identification thanks to their practice of photographing each and every participant's badge. Beyond these archival contributions, our honoree is frequently the familiar figure directing a halftime photo run with calm efficiency, so that every costumer receives the attention they deserve while keeping the show moving smoothly. This skill, dedication, and collaborative spirit have led to this icon being made the official ICT archive photographer, beginning with CostumeCon 32, a role he has fulfilled with distinction ever since. His work preserves not only our images, but our history. For this and his decades of service to the community, it is my honor and privilege to announce that the recipient of the 2026 International Costumers Guild Lifetime Achievement Award is Stuart Hartman. Congratulations, Stuart.
We now present the Single Pattern Awards. First, we would like to recognize the invaluable help of our judges for the Single Pattern Contest, Carol Inkpen and Andrea Lewis. Both are accomplished members of the costuming community, having attended many costume cons and other costuming events. Both are seasoned members of the St. Louis Costumers Guild. Our first award is Honored for Pattern Transformation for Italian Gown made by Rose Haynes. Making a gown from a coat while retaining the duster shape was a nice surprise, said our judges. Next is for Best Depiction of Theme from the Olympics Handbook Downhill Dangers, Chapter 291, Dragons by Jacqueline Ward. The judges enjoyed all of the details depicting a variety of Winter Olympic sports and their hidden hazards, the dragons. Our third award, Apocalyptic Momigami by Mary Ellen Duff, has been given 2 awards from our judges. Best in Apocalyptic Ingenuity for the thoughtful use of materials and techniques to convey her storyline, and special recognition for fabric manipulation, making her own recycled material. Our judges said when her presentation began with a milk carton, the judges weren't sure where they were going. And finally, Best in Show goes to Stained Glass Lampshade Coat by Karen Siemens. The careful color placement and tones make for a beautiful lamp, which would be welcome in any household. And now for the Doll Competition Awards.
Costume Con 2026 Doll Competition Awards Presentation. Let's meet the doll competition judges. Jeanette Peters first began costuming in the science fiction and fantasy genres, but has recently branched out to historical. She has competed or assisted backstage at costume competitions and is an enthusiastic hall costumer. The Reverend Kathy Nelson enjoys crafting, doll making, fishing, and camping, and also performs and organizes weddings. Award for Best Design. Iris, Goddess of the Rainbow by Nora Mai. The use of color and shape creates a beautiful sense of movement within the design. Award for Best Construction. Tabor, Czech Republic by Margarita Gajicki. The tiny sequins and trim and the creative use of fabric contribute to the historical accuracy in reflecting the source material. Award for Best Presentation. A Day at the Sea by Janine Wardale. This entry created not only the costumes and hats for the dolls, but an entire beach environment and a story about the sea creatures. K-Top Barrow's Award for Whimsy in Costuming. Ensign Mecca-Barriner by Randall Whitlock. The concept and the play on the Star Trek character perfectly matches K-Top Barrow's sharp sense of humor and her love of the franchise. Award for Best in Show. A Day at the Sea by Janine Wardale. This is a moving tribute to a family history of sewing, passed down through generations, preserving techniques and skills. This concludes our awards presentation. Thanks to the contestants and judges.